Hi, I'm Josh, and this is Cars and Joshy.
Welcome to Cars and Joshy. I got Elsa back in the bay today, and I'm going to be spending some quality time with her. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I don't know what else I'm going to accomplish. I'll put it in the title of the video though, whenever I get that figured out and get it going. So we'll go ahead and get to work. Okay, so I went ahead and modified this hose right here. It used to come across and run up the side here and run up underneath this cowl and go over into the brick. I just trimmed it, and now I have it coming straight up and running parallel with this hose. I think it looks much cleaner that way. The other thing I did was I put a couple more rib nuts in this plate, AC plate here, and went ahead and put the transmission oil dipstick right there. Went ahead and put some rib nuts in there and mounted this bracket right there, so I can go ahead and get to that. I can still get to it with that cowl on there, so just wanted to make sure I was able to put it somewhere where I could get to it pretty easy here. Not a problem. I can get it in and out without worrying about that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece, I'm gonna take this AC plate off, disconnect everything from it, take it out of there, and get it sent over to my painter so it can get painted to match. The cowl piece is going to be gloss black just to match across there, and then this is going to be Raptor lined like the rest of the engine bay, along with this fender. I got to get this fender pulled off, or this fender liner pulled off, and it's going to match, you know, this battery box and everything else up under here that's on the firewall and on the inner fenders and stuff. So get that taken off. I went ahead and moved into the interior. What I'm doing now, I'm putting more sound deadening insulation stuff in the interior here. So you can see all these holes right here, and they were used for the retainer fasteners that held on the old school insulation that kind of looks like the under carpet padding type insulation. So I just kind of covered those up with this, all except for these where you have a bracket that comes down that helps mount the evaporator kit for the vintage air system. It used to come down and mount to the dash, I think is what that bracket was for, but we got a replacement one in the vintage air kit, so I'm gonna use that. And then I'm just gonna cover this up. I'll probably cut around this opening here, and I'll probably just cut some slits into the sound deadening material to kind of come across here, and then leave that one open. But we'll keep working on it in here. Since I got that one piece done, I'm just gonna use this backing piece as like a template and just kind of cut more off until I get it going across there. Then I think I'm gonna try and work on mounting this wiring stuff. But yeah, let me get this upper part done, and then I'll move on from there. Okay, so this is what I worked on today, is this upper dash area and getting the sound deadening material put on here. It went all right. I just made some cutouts for things where the bolts come through, and at the end there where the AC vents and stuff come out, over here and at that end. Wrapped it up underneath a little bit, and I was gonna do some more, but this little thing right here is a little seal zit grommet where I have the wiring harness coming through, and I was messing around with that, trying to figure out how I was going to get it on there, and ended up using two pieces because I just had this one seal zit on this side, and the way that the wiring harness is coming through, it left room for some rubbing on the outside, on the firewall side. So I got another 2-piece Sealzit grommet that's like split in the middle. The difference between the two is that this one has 4 holes going around it, 2 on top, 2 on the sides. But those split pieces, they have 3 on the top piece and 3 on the bottom piece. So that took a little bit of time trying to figure out how to do that, and I'll show you a little bit closer on what it looks like. So that's what it looks like close up on this side. You can see the 2 on the sides there that I didn't use, and I'll show you what it looks like on the firewall side over here. Right there. So there was no way that I was gonna get it sealed up with how big the wiring harness is coming through here, because it was only like a little 1-inch opening, maybe something like that. So I just use a hole punch kit, a gasket maker punch kit, to widen that hole a little bit more, and then I was able to get it on there. The bottom side here has there's 3 more rivets going in that one, and I couldn't really get like a angle drill or anything for this one, so I went and made the world's laziest template, and surprisingly it worked. I set it up here like that and just kind of used the punch to mark this hole and kind of blind stabbed it. Went through. Fortunately, I didn't drill through any wiring over here. I was careful about that, and then I just put the rivet in through there, and was able to get it all sealed up. So that's all sealed up there. I'm gonna have to like make a template for this piece. I started working on that. I'm probably gonna go from right here all the way over to right here with the next piece, and then all the way down to here. And then the most challenging area is gonna be kind of down here where all the little brackets and holes and stuff are cut out. So I'll do what I can around there. The transmission harness is not hooked up yet. I'm gonna end up raising it up on the quick jacks and find out where the transmission connectors are, and probably get a hole saw, drill it through the transmission tunnel. So I'm just gonna run the wiring down along the bottom of the transmission tunnel and have it come out where the connections are down here, and I'll make sure that I do that before I start laying the mat over here. I don't want to have to drill through it. This stuff is kind of sticky and a mess. Right up here is where the vintage air kit was. Had 2 retaining screws on a bracket going through here. Hopefully I got it close enough to that area. I'll use a punch or something to feel my way around, or the screw itself, because you can't get back up in here to feel around for it. It's all sealed off. So anyways, that shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to get that. Okay, so I ended up removing the steering column so that I can get this last piece down in here. I'll show you guys what I ended up doing and how I went about getting this piece to fit. There were just too many holes and stuff on this section, and I didn't want to try to work around the steering column. So what I did is I removed that and went ahead and put a piece up here and just kind of whittled it down until I got it to where I needed it. And so if I go back on the firewall side, the engine bay, I can show you what I did. You can see I already started cutting it out, but I just took a Sharpie and traced around here. There's different templates here because I had a big huge sheet of sound deadening material, and like I said, as I started making it smaller, I got it to fit better, and then I cut out the pieces that more appropriately align with what I'm doing. So onto this last piece, and once I get that in there, I'll be able to put the steering column back in. I'll be able to put the brake booster in and anything else, the pedals, start getting the pedals in here. Well, since I was able to get some of that sound deadening material done back there, I went ahead and put the throttle pedal on. So there's a small metal bracket that goes behind this plastic piece. Goes back there, and then this big metal bracket is supposed to bolt on the front right there, but all it does really is hold the module for cruise control. So I'm not going to use that. I thought about it, but I don't want that big bulky cruise control module on there. And then up on the fender there's a big you know, the actuator and everything with a bunch of vacuum lines and all that stuff that goes to it up on the fender. So I didn't really want that, so I'm gonna leave that off. If I want cruise control, I might go with something like a Dakota Digital setup. I think they have a modern setup that I can use if I really wanted to, but I haven't decided yet. I know I'm not gonna use that piece, so I just went ahead and took it off and mounted it up like that. So since I got a little bit of time before I got to do editing, I'm going to go ahead and get the throttle cable ran. You can see where the hole is for the throttle cable. It goes straight through there, mounts into the rod for the throttle pedal right there. So what I ended up getting was a Lokar throttle cable. It's a 48-inch LS1 in black stainless. This is what it looks like. And so I'll go ahead and walk through installing that. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and take this little set screw, back this off, and get this little throttle body connector piece off, and then pull this off so that I can get the actual cable out of the housing. Set that aside for now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and take it over there and go ahead and hook it onto the throttle cable bracket. All right, to get it on there, it's just gonna hold it in place. Go ahead and get your sheathing. Take this end off. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna do this by myself, but I think I might be able to do it. Okay, so here's where we run into a little bit of a problem. You got a square hole and a, what was that, hexagon little shaped throttle cable, and it doesn't quite fit there, but it doesn't really have a secure connection on it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use washer. Whoa, come here. I'm gonna use a couple washers. So I'm gonna put one on this end and slide it through here, just like that. And then I'm gonna put this other one on the other side. Just snug it up hand tight, and that'll do it. That'll hold it in place right there. That's a pretty simple fix. I've seen people make brackets and plates and special mounts or whatever. 2 washers works just fine. So I'll show you on the inside. Right there. Works just fine. All right, so once we got the cable housing going through there, all we need to do is route where we want it to go, how we want it to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna put the camera down, make sure I get it routed the way I want it. Surprisingly, that was almost the perfect length without any trimming at all. I can follow along with some of my other hoses and stuff here, run them parallel with that back into the bulkhead back there. So I don't think I'm gonna trim anything or need to trim anything. What I'm gonna end up doing is putting a zip tie probably right here. Maybe maybe somewhere else around here maybe. And maybe with this line here for the steam system, zip tie it all 2 or 3 different spots. Have it run right along here. I think that's gonna be great. Let me get the cable piece now and go ahead and fish it through. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try and fish this cable through. Hopefully there's no bends that are too tight for the actual cable. Seems to have gone through just fine. I think the way that I'm going to try and connect this is I'm just going to pull this pin right here, sit it down in through here just like that. There it is. We'll see how that works. All right, the way you're supposed to do this is you're supposed to open up the throttle plate wide open while pressing on the pedal all the way to the floor. And then you measure on the other end to see where you need to cut the actual cable. So let me get something to hold this pedal down. All right, I think that'll work. It says to measure about 1/4 inch past where you're gonna put the actual little stopper, which if I put it in the last slot here, I don't have to cut the cable at all either, which is pretty nice. Let me get a Sharpie. That's all the way wide open throttle. I'm gonna mark this right there. I bought these when I was building my drift trike, and they are brake cable, throttle cable cutters. So let's see if I can. All right, let's get this back on and see how we do. All right, it's on now. Let me go back in there, see how that works. Okay, so since I don't have any help, what I'm gonna have to do is record when I step on the throttle to see if this little piece right here touches the little stop right here. So that'd be wide open throttle. If it doesn't make it that far, that means I'm still needing some adjustment on my cable here. So let me see if I can get this light at a better spot. Oh, that should do it right there. All right, you see better with it right there. All right, I'm gonna hit the throttle all the way to the floorboard a couple times. See how it works out. That's all the way down. All right, let me watch that video back and see how far off I am. All right, well, I watched the playback on that video and it looks like we've got throttle all the way down to wide open throttle. Springs back nicely, so I'm gonna call throttle pedal good and throttle cable good. Again, that was a 48-inch Lokar with the black stainless black sheathing, and I had to cut like maybe 1.5 inches or so off of the internal cable, the actual throttle cable itself, and that was it. The rest of it routed perfectly right where I needed it to go. Didn't have to cut the sheathing or anything. So it worked out great. So anyways, that's what I was able to get to today. I'll have more for you guys next time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell for new videos. Thanks for watching Cars and Joshy. Josh out.